So once you finish creating the curve, is it just a line, is a curve? You know, you did using the control point, but now they're all gone. We need to bring the control point out. So we need to go to this toolbar, which is edit control point. Click on it. So we can select any of them and sort of just drag. Actually, the first one is less used, and this is more used. It's just a different way of controlling the curve, right? As you can see, the first one right here is the control point is sort of on the line. And if I press escape and remove that, and I click on my second toolbar, you can see the control point is not on the line, it's off the line, except for the two ends. So that's a very good way of modifying the curve. And now let's turn on the control point and just kind of randomly select a few points from my front view. If you want to keep selecting it, you should press on Shift. So if I want to select also this one, press Shift and select one more. Yeah, now I select 4 of them. What I can do is I can move. So if I move, now I have really a 3-dimensional curve, which if you look at it is a 3-dimensional curve, right? Instead of 2-dimensional, it becomes a 3-dimensional. So that's one thing. And the second thing I want to introduce to you is one very simple tool, because we've been flat for very long, so now we want to be 3-dimensional. So I have a curve which is flat one. What I want to introduce to you is just one of the simple tool. It's called extrusion, and this is the first 3-dimensional tool you would ever need, and it's probably very common. So this tool is under surface. So far we sort of went through all these lines and curve and polygon, and the next one is a surface. This is a very important toolbar. You click on it, and this toolbar will be expanded, and then we click on extrude straight. Yeah, this is the first. So once you select the toolbar, it asks you to select the curve. So we can select the curve and press enter when done, and basically just drag, yeah, and it will give you an extrusion of your curve. So this is a very important tool at this point. So if we want to extrude this 3-dimensional curve, we can do it. Oh, by the way, when you extrude, see, you actually have a choice of the direction. Maybe it's okay to extrude this direction. So it sort of become like this. But let's say I want to make a copy of this curve, and also when you click on something, this probably happened quite a few times already, is you actually have a different, different object which are overlapping. That's why when you click, it's giving you a choice which one you want to select. So at this point, I can select because the curve and the surface are overlapping. So I don't select the surface, I select my curve. And I'm going to make a copy of it. So once I select the curve, the easiest way is to go to the toolbar, click on copy, and the point to copy from can be anywhere, and to copy to can also be anywhere. So I made a copy. Once I'm done this, I don't want more copies, or I can always click and make more copies. Once you're done, press escape on your keyboard. So click on and select one of this item you're about to extrude, and click on the toolbar. You know, remember, you always, every time once you click on the toolbar, you sort of have a lot of choices under the parentheses. So you can change the direction, you can change whether it should go both sides. If I click on both sides, what happened is extruding both sides. So I can say, I can click again, because now says yes. So if I click again, it becomes no, so I'm only extruding one direction. And there are other options that you can choose. So for example, direction, if I don't like this direction, I click on directions, and then it would give you a choice, ask you base point for the direction, but we cannot do it in the perspective view. We have to double click and bring out our other views. For example, the base point can be here. And then the second point, I mean, as you can see, I'm not only extruding horizontal or vertical, I can extruding diagonal as well. So the basically asking you for 2 points, which will define the direction of your extrusion. So the second point can be here. So I can extrude this direction as well. So that's all about extrusion.